Monica pushed the termination letter across her glass desk using only 2 fingers, like touching anything connected to me disgusted her. No severance package. No transition period. You're done today. Her voice stayed flat and emotionless, like she was reading a grocery list instead of destroying someone's life. My heart dropped into my stomach. Through the glass walls of her office, I could see my team watching. Their faces showed shock and confusion. Some looked away, unable to watch what was happening. Monica continued without any feeling in her voice. You're not aligned with my vision for this department anymore, Kendall. Security is waiting to walk you out. The words hit me like a physical blow. My hands started shaking in my lap, but I kept them still. I wouldn't give her the satisfaction of seeing me break down. 6 years of my life. 6 years of late nights, weekend work, and building this department from nothing. 6 years of loyalty to a company that just let this woman erase me in 5 minutes. I wanted to scream. I wanted to demand answers. I wanted to ask how she could do this. But I didn't. I just sat there, frozen, trying to understand what had just happened to my entire world. My name is Kendall Price, and before that horrible morning, I actually believed that hard work mattered. I thought loyalty meant something. I thought doing your job well would protect you. I was wrong about all of it. To Monica Vale, the woman who had just fired me, none of those things mattered at all. The only thing she cared about was power and making sure nobody threatened her position. I had spent 6 years building the operations team at Westfield Analytics. When I started, we had 3 people and 1 small client. By the time Monica arrived, we had 15 team members and handled accounts worth millions of dollars. I trained every single person on that team. I wrote the procedures we used. I built the relationships with our biggest clients. Some of those clients had my personal cell phone number because they trusted me that much. But none of that mattered now. Monica had been my director for 8 months. 8 months of slowly destroying everything I had built. 8 months of undermining me, embarrassing me, and turning my own team against me. And now she had won. Or at least, that's what she thought. I remembered the first day Monica walked into our department like she owned it. She wore an expensive suit and carried herself like royalty visiting peasants. She didn't introduce herself to most of the team. She walked straight to my desk while everyone watched. So you're Kendall Price, she said, looking me up and down. Everyone keeps telling me you're irreplaceable around here. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. The way she said irreplaceable sounded like an insult, not a compliment. I stood up and offered my hand. Nice to meet you, Monica. Welcome to the team. She shook my hand briefly, like she didn't really want to touch me. We'll see how irreplaceable you actually are, she said quietly, so only I could hear. Then she walked away to her new office, leaving me standing there with a bad feeling in my stomach. My coworker Alex whispered to me after she left, "Did she just threaten you?" I shook my head, trying to convince myself I had imagined it. No, I'm sure she's just nervous about the new role. But deep down, I knew something was wrong. I just didn't know how bad it would get. The first real problem happened 2 weeks after Monica started. I had spent 3 weeks creating a detailed proposal for a new client. It included market research, budget projections, and a complete implementation timeline. I was proud of that proposal. It was some of my best work. I sent it to Monica for review before we submitted it to upper management. The next day, she forwarded it to the executive team with her name as the only author. My name was completely erased from the document. When I saw the email, my hands clenched into fists. I took a deep breath and walked to her office. Monica, I think there was a mistake with the Harrison proposal. My name wasn't on it when you sent it upstairs. She looked up from her computer with fake surprise on her face. Oh, was that a problem? She tilted her head, pretending to be confused. I just assumed you wouldn't mind. You're such a team player, Kendall. I didn't think you cared about getting credit. Her voice dripped with false sweetness. I do mind, I said firmly. I created that entire proposal. She smiled coldly. Well, it's already submitted now. Maybe next time you should be clearer about wanting recognition. I left her office feeling sick to my stomach. That was the first cut. But it definitely wasn't the last. 3 months into Monica's reign, she made an announcement that shocked everyone. Tara Williams, a 24-year-old who had been with the company for only 6 months, was being promoted to acting team lead. She would be my equal, even though she had almost no experience. The whole team looked confused when Monica announced it in our weekly meeting. After the meeting, Tara came to my desk. She looked embarrassed and uncomfortable. "Kendall, I'm really sorry," she whispered. "I didn't ask for this. I don't even know what half of this job involves. Monica just called me into her office yesterday and told me I was getting promoted." I felt bad for Tara. This wasn't her fault. She was just a kid trying to do her job. Monica was using her as a weapon against me. "It's okay, Tara," I told her. "This isn't about you." But when I looked at Monica across the room, she was staring right at me with a satisfied smile on her face. The message was clear: I could be replaced by someone with barely any experience. I wasn't special. I wasn't important. Monica wanted me to know my place, and my place was beneath her. After Tara's promotion, Monica started a quiet war against me. She scheduled important meetings without telling me. I would find out about them after they happened, when someone mentioned decisions that had been made without my input. She changed project deadlines without warning me. I would think I had 2 weeks to complete something, then find out the deadline was actually tomorrow. She rewrote my emails to clients before sending them, making me sound less professional and less confident. When I tried to talk to her about these problems, she would act like I was being difficult. "You sound really defensive right now, Kendall," she would say with fake concern. "Maybe you need to work on receiving feedback better." Every conversation with her left me feeling confused and frustrated. She was so good at twisting things around that I started to doubt myself. Was I being too sensitive? Was I imagining things? But when I talked to my teammates privately, they saw what was happening too. "She's trying to push you out," Alex told me during lunch one day. "Everyone can see it." I knew he was right. But I didn't know what to do about it. The false accusation came on a Wednesday afternoon. Monica called me into her office and closed the door. My stomach immediately tensed up because I knew that meant trouble. "Kendall, we need to discuss your behavior," she said seriously. "My behavior?" I repeated, confused. "You've been undermining my authority with the team. Making comments that question my decisions. Creating division in the department." My mouth fell open. "What? I haven't done any of that. Who said I did?" She leaned back in her chair and studied me like I was a bug under a microscope. "Multiple people have come to me with concerns. I can't share their names, obviously. But the complaints are serious." My hands started shaking. I knew this was a lie. I had been nothing but professional, even when Monica treated me terribly. "This isn't true," I said, my voice stronger than I felt. "I haven't said anything negative about you to anyone." Monica smiled, but it wasn't a kind smile. "The fact that you're getting so defensive proves my point. You clearly have issues with authority figures. Maybe you should think about why that is." I left her office feeling like I had been punched in the stomach. She had just accused me of things I didn't do, then twisted my defense into more evidence against me. Everything came crashing down when I took a sick day. I had been having terrible back pain for weeks. I finally went to the doctor, who told me I needed to rest for at least a day. So I called in sick, something I almost never did. That day, Monica held an emergency team meeting without me. Alex told me what happened when I came back the next day. "She told everyone that you've become unreliable," he said quietly. "She said you're not committed to the team anymore and that we all need to pick up your slack." I felt like I couldn't breathe. I took one sick day. One day in 6 years. "I know," Alex said sadly. "We all know. But she made it sound like you've been gone constantly. Some of the newer people believed her because they don't know your history." I sat at my desk with my head in my hands. Monica was destroying my reputation piece by piece. She was turning my own team against me, using lies and manipulation. And there was nothing I could do to stop it. If I defended myself, I would look defensive. If I stayed quiet, people would think she was right. I was trapped, and Monica knew it. The public humiliation happened during our quarterly presentation to upper management. I had prepared for this presentation for 3 weeks. It covered all our department's achievements, our goals for the next quarter, and detailed budget projections. I had rehearsed it dozens of times. The conference room was full of executives and department heads. I took a deep breath and started my presentation. I was exactly 2 minutes in when Monica interrupted me. "Actually," she said loudly, standing up. "I think we should have Tara present this instead. Kendall has been distracted lately, and Tara has been doing most of the real work anyway." The room went completely silent. Everyone stared at me. My face burned with embarrassment. My hands gripped the presentation remote so hard my knuckles turned white. "That's not accurate," I managed to say, my voice shaking. Monica ignored me and gestured for Tara to come forward. Tara looked horrified, but she didn't have a choice. She stumbled through the presentation, clearly unprepared. It was a disaster for both of us. But Monica didn't care. She had accomplished what she wanted. She had humiliated me in front of the entire leadership team. She had made me look incompetent and unreliable. I could see pity in people's eyes when they looked at me. That was worse than anger. Pity meant they thought I was finished. Which brought everything full circle to the moment Monica fired me. No severance pay. No warning. No dignity. Just her cold voice telling me that security would escort me out like I was a criminal. I stood up from the chair, my legs feeling weak and shaky. My whole body wanted to collapse, but I forced myself to stay upright. Through the glass walls, I could see my team watching. Alex looked angry. Tara was crying. Even the people who had started believing Monica's lies looked shocked. I wanted to scream at Monica. I wanted to tell her exactly what I thought of her and her petty, cruel leadership. But I didn't give her that satisfaction. Instead, I looked her directly in the eyes and said calmly, "You're going to regret this." She laughed. Actually laughed. "I don't think so, Kendall. You're not nearly as important as you think you are." I walked out of her office with my spine straight and my head high. Security followed me to my desk while I packed my personal items into a box. The walk to my car was the longest of my life. But I didn't let myself cry. Not yet. I made it to my car before I completely fell apart. My hands shook so badly I could barely get the key in the ignition. When I finally did, I just sat there in the parking lot and sobbed. 6 years of my life, gone. Just like that. My rent was due in 2 weeks. My little brother's college tuition payment was coming up, and I had promised to help him. I had medical bills from my back problems that I was still paying off. I needed this job. Monica knew I needed this job. That's why she enjoyed firing me so much. But underneath all the fear and grief and anger, something else started growing. A small flame of determination. Monica thought she had one. She thought she had destroyed me. She had no idea what was coming. I wiped my tears, took a deep breath, and pulled out my phone. There was someone I needed to call. Someone who had been telling me for years that I deserved better than Westfield Analytics. It was time to take him up on that offer. Marcus Hale answered on the second ring. "Kendall, I was just thinking about you. How are things at Westfield?" Just hearing his friendly voice made me want to cry again, but I held it together. "I just got fired, Marcus." Silence on the other end. Then, "What? Are you serious? What happened?" I gave him the short version. Monica's arrival, the 8 months of torture, and finally the termination with no cause and no compensation. When I finished, Marcus was quiet for a moment. Then he said something that changed everything. "Kendall, I've been trying to expand my consulting firm for months, but I needed someone who could build and lead a team. Someone with your exact skills. I've been too scared to ask because I thought you were happy at Westfield." My heart started beating faster. "Are you offering me a job?" "I'm offering you a partnership," he corrected. "I need someone to build a team and run operations. You would have complete control over how you structure things. No Monica. No politics. Just good work and respect for your people." I closed my eyes and took a shaky breath. When can I start? Marcus laughed. How about Monday? I spent the weekend planning instead of crying. Marcus and I met at his office on Saturday. It was small but professional, with space to grow. Here's my pitch, Marcus said, spreading papers across the conference table. I've got 3 good-sized clients right now and 2 more interested. But I can't handle operations and keep bringing in new business at the same time. I need someone who can build systems, train people, and make clients happy. That's you. I looked at the client list. My eyes widened when I recognized 2 of the companies. These are Westfield competitors, I said. Marcus nodded. They are. And they've all complained about how Westfield has gone downhill in the last few months. Funny how that timing lines up with Monica taking over your department. We spent hours discussing structure, hiring plans, and how to approach potential team members. I made one rule absolutely clear: I won't recruit anyone from Westfield. I won't even contact them. If people want to leave Monica, they need to find me on their own. Marcus agreed. We'll do this completely above board. No poaching, no revenge tactics. We'll just build something better. By Sunday night, I had a plan. Not a revenge plan. A success plan. On Monday morning, I got a message that surprised me. It was from Tara. Kendall, I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but I need to tell you what's happening here. Monica is completely losing it. She yelled at the entire team this morning, blaming everyone for your negative influence on the department. People are scared. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I stared at the message for a long time. Tara wasn't asking for help. She wasn't asking to leave. She just needed someone who understood what Monica was really like. That told me everything I needed to know about how bad things had gotten. I wrote back carefully, I'm sorry you're going through that. Remember that her behavior isn't your fault. You deserve to work in a place where you're treated with respect. I didn't offer her anything. I didn't try to recruit her. I just reminded her that she had options. That's all people sometimes need to hear. On Tuesday, I got a phone call from Bryant Technologies, one of our biggest clients from Westfield. Kendall, thank goodness I found you, the CEO said. We've been trying to reach someone at Westfield about our account for 2 weeks. Monica keeps saying she'll call us back, but she never does. What's going on over there? My stomach sank. I don't work at Westfield anymore. I was let go last week. The silence on the other end lasted several seconds. You were let go. You were the only reason we stayed with Westfield. You personally saved our account 3 times when things went wrong. I appreciate that, I said carefully. But I can't help you with your Westfield account anymore. What if it wasn't a Westfield account? He asked. Where are you working now? I took a breath. I'm with Hale Consulting. We just started building an operations team. Send me a proposal, he said immediately. If you're there, we want to work with you. I hung up and sat in shock. I hadn't reached out to them. I hadn't tried to steal the client. They had called me because Monica was so bad at her job that she was pushing clients away. This wasn't revenge. This was just consequences. Word spread through Westfield faster than I expected. By Wednesday, I heard through the grapevine that 3 people had quit Monica's team. 2 more were openly looking for new jobs. Monica held an emergency team meeting and, according to Alex who texted me, completely lost control. She actually slammed her hand on the table and screamed that you would not win, Alex wrote. She kept saying you were trying to sabotage her. It was honestly scary. Some people thought she might break down crying. I read the message twice and felt nothing but sadness. I wasn't trying to sabotage Monica. I wasn't playing any game. I was just trying to build a life after she destroyed my old one. But Monica couldn't see that. To her, everything was a competition. Everything was about power and control. She had created her own nightmare by treating people so badly that they didn't want to work for her anymore. I wasn't pulling anyone away from her. She was pushing them away all by herself. And she was too blind to see it. On Thursday, Tara showed up at the coffee shop where I was working on my laptop. She stood nervously by my table until I looked up. Hi, Kendall, she said quietly. Can I sit down? I gestured to the empty chair. Of course. Tara sat down and immediately started talking fast, like she had been holding everything in for too long. I can't work for Monica anymore. I know I was her favorite. I know she promoted me to hurt you. But I can't do this. Yesterday she screamed at me for 20 minutes because I forgot to update a spreadsheet. I literally cried in the bathroom for an hour. She took a shaky breath. I'm not asking for anything. I just needed you to know that you were right about her. And I'm sorry I didn't see it sooner. I reached across the table and touched her hand gently. Tara, you have nothing to apologize for. You didn't do anything wrong. I have my resume, she said hopefully. If you have any positions open. I did have positions open. Marcus and I had been planning to hire 3 people. I slid her a folder with a job description inside. Tara wasn't the last person to reach out. On Friday, Alex called me. Then 2 other team members I had trained years ago. By Monday, a total of 5 people had contacted me about jobs. None of them knew the others had reached out. They weren't coordinating. They were all just desperately trying to escape Monica's department. Marcus and I had planned to hire 3 people. We ended up with 5 former Westfield employees asking to join us. We hired all of them. Not to hurt Monica. But because they were good people who deserved better leadership. The consultancy became a refuge for everyone Monica had hurt. We built something based on respect, clear communication, and actually valuing people's contributions. Meanwhile, Monica's department was falling apart. She still had a team, but it was mostly new people who didn't know how things used to work. The experienced people were gone. The client relationships were damaged. The systems I had built were breaking down because nobody understood how to maintain them. And Monica still thought I was somehow sabotaging her. She couldn't accept that she had destroyed everything herself. The cease and desist letter arrived on a Wednesday morning. It was from Westfield's legal department, addressed to both Marcus and me. It accused us of poaching employees and interfering with business relationships. Marcus read it calmly, then handed it to his lawyer. Our lawyer read it and actually laughed. This is ridiculous, she said. They have no case. Did you actively recruit anyone from Westfield? No, I said firmly. They all reached out to us on their own. We have messages and emails proving that. Did you contact any Westfield clients to steal their business? No. The one client who came to us called me first because Westfield wasn't responding to them. Our lawyer smiled. Then this letter is just intimidation. Respond with 1 sentence. Provide evidence of wrongdoing. We did exactly that. Monica couldn't provide evidence because there wasn't any. She knew people were leaving because she was a terrible leader, but she couldn't admit that. So she tried to blame me instead. It didn't work. The letter disappeared and we never heard about it again. 2 days later, I got an unexpected phone call from someone I hadn't spoken to in years. Is this Kendall Price? Yes, this is Kendall. This is Vincent Torres, Regional Vice President at Westfield. Do you have a few minutes to talk? My heart started racing. This was Monica's boss's boss. I agreed to talk and he got straight to the point. 5 people left Monica Vale's department in less than 2 weeks. All of them were strong performers. Can you help me understand what happened? I chose my words very carefully. Mr. Torres, I can't speak to Monica's leadership style. That's not my place anymore. But I can tell you that I built my consulting team on principles of respect, clear communication, and valuing people's contributions. Those things seem to matter to the people who came to work with me. He was quiet for a moment. I've been reviewing Monica's department. The client complaints have increased significantly. Deadlines are being missed. The turnover is unprecedented. That's unfortunate, I said honestly. I hope things improve for everyone still there. After we hung up, I knew that conversation was significant. Monica's boss was finally paying attention to what was really happening. The client shift happened exactly 3 weeks after I was fired. Bryant Technologies formally ended their contract with Westfield and signed with Hale Consulting instead. They weren't the first client to switch, But they were the biggest. Their account was worth almost $200,000 annually. The CEO sent me a personal email explaining why. We gave Monica 3 weeks to respond to our concerns. She never did. You responded within 24 hours and had a solution within 48. The choice was easy. When Westfield's leadership saw that a major client had left specifically because of poor service under Monica's leadership, everything changed. I heard through Alex that there was an emergency executive meeting. Monica was called in to explain why client relationships had deteriorated so badly in such a short time. She apparently tried to blame me, saying I had stolen the client. But the client had already told Westfield's executives exactly why they left. They had a paper trail of ignored emails and missed calls. Monica's excuses didn't work anymore. The numbers didn't lie. Her poor leadership was costing the company real money. And leadership was finally angry enough to do something about it. Westfield launched an official internal investigation into Monica's department. Alex told me that HR interviewed every current and former team member. They asked detailed questions about leadership style, communication, and workplace environment. Several people told HR about Monica's favoritism, her public humiliation tactics, and her habit of taking credit for other people's work. I wasn't interviewed because I no longer worked there. But I didn't need to be. The current employees were finally brave enough to tell the truth now that they had seen people successfully escape. Meanwhile, my consulting team landed 2 more significant contracts. We were growing faster than Marcus had expected. We had to rent additional office space. We were planning to hire 2 more people next month. Every success we had felt good, but not because it hurt Monica. It felt good because we were building something real. Something based on actual values instead of ego and power games. The revenge I was getting wasn't planned. It was just the natural result of doing good work and treating people well. That's always been the secret that bullies never understand. The news came exactly 4 weeks after my termination. Monica Vale was removed from her director position pending further organizational review. That's corporate speak for she's being fired, but we're doing it quietly. Alex called me as soon as he heard. She's gone, Kendall. They walked her out this morning just like she did to you. I felt a complex mix of emotions. Relief. Satisfaction. But also sadness. This didn't have to happen. Monica could have been a good leader if she had focused on the work instead of feeling threatened by capable people. Did they say anything official? I asked. Just that they're restructuring the department and reevaluating leadership needs. Everyone knows what that really means. Monica had lost everything she worked for, not because of me, but because of her own actions. Every cruel decision, every manipulation, every time she chose ego over effectiveness had led to this moment. She lost her team because she treated them terribly. She lost her clients because she ignored them. She lost her position because she cared more about power than results. And every bit of it was her own fault. 1 month after Monica fired me, Marcus called me into his office with a huge smile. Kendall, we need to talk about your role here. My stomach clenched nervously. Is something wrong? Wrong? No. Very right, actually. We've grown faster than I ever imagined. We have 8 employees now, all because of your leadership. We've landed 5 major clients. Our revenue has tripled. He slid a folder across his desk toward me. I'm making you Director of Operations officially. Full equity stake. Equal decision-making power. This is as much your company as it is mine now. I stared at the contract in shock. 2 months ago, I had been fired with no severance and no dignity. Now I was being offered a director position with equity in a growing company. Marcus, I don't know what to say. Say yes, he laughed. You've earned this 10 times over. I signed the contract with shaking hands. When I looked up, I saw my new team through the glass walls. They were laughing, working together, supporting each other. This was what leadership should look like. This was what I had tried to build at Westfield before Monica destroyed it. Now I finally had the chance to build it right. 2 months after Monica fired me with no compensation and no dignity, I sat in my new office and thought about everything that had happened. Monica's entire former team now worked for me. Not because I had recruited them or manipulated them, but because they chose to run toward a leader who protected them and away from a leader who destroyed them. The clients Monica had ignored were now my clients. Not because I stole them, but because they came looking for someone who actually valued their business. The department Monica thought she could run better without me had completely collapsed. The company had to completely rebuild it from scratch. And I had built something better than I ever imagined possible. Monica had thought firing me would eliminate her biggest threat. Instead, it had freed me to become an actual threat. But here's what she never understood: I wasn't trying to compete with her. I was just trying to do good work and treat people well. The best revenge isn't destroying someone. It's building something so successful that they destroy themselves trying to compete. As I looked around my new office, watching my team work together with smiles on their faces, I realized something important. Monica didn't lose because I beat her. She lost because she beat herself. And I won because I never stopped being the person I always was, someone who believed that good work and good leadership would eventually win. I was right.